Aloha, namaste, sitaram, assalamu alaikum. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night to each and every one of you, wherever you are. This is Dianne Ojar on the Divine Soul Journey. I want to say, I just want to turn on this music a little bit so you can hear me better. I just want to say thank you for joining us today, and I'm so happy to have this amazing guest. I always say that, but they're all amazing with a message and a story. So I hope you would welcome me, help me welcome her as well. But for the moment, I just want, as a disclosure, I would love to say, this is not about religion. We, myself, our audience, our guests respect your belief and your faith. We're not here to suggest anything, but if it resonates with you and you would like to know more, please connect with me at dsjshow2020@gmail.com. Now, the music you're hearing in the back is the Love, Peace, and Harmony music. And if you just want to sit back and relax and enjoy this healing music, that would be amazing. Now, today, we're going to be talking about soul journeys. And each one of us is on a soul journey. And from time to time, this is not a scripted show. We're talking about our lives. We're being very open because we never know who it will touch. And of course, we always do a forgiveness practice along the way. And you never know if Francesca is going to do something with us. But definitely, we will do something for you as a gift to you. So please let me welcome my amazing guest, Francesca Bartella. And Francesca, I've gotten to know a little bit, and she is part of the organization, and she does work with the Love, Peace, and Harmony Foundation. And she will touch on that, but what I really want Francesca to talk about is her journey, her soul journey, her life journey. And I want you to help me welcome Francesca to the Divine Soul Journey Show. Welcome.
Thank you, Diane. Thank you so much for having me here. It's my pleasure to be here, and I'm very excited to share my stories and just to share in our life's experience with your audience. Thank you.
Lovely. It's been long overdue, Francesca. We've talked about this months ago, and everybody was under the weather at the time, more or less. And here we are. So thank you so much. So let's start. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Currently, I am the manager of volunteer services for Love, Peace, and Harmony Foundation. So, and of course, I say that because I want to tell everybody how you and I met.
She's my boss. She's my boss.
Yeah, we had a beautiful dialogue. I'm your biggest cheerleader and your support system. So it was so nice to speak to you, and I think you opened up my awareness so much more. And I think we talked about my journey and how I came to this particular role. And it's so interesting because the more people that I meet in this organization, whether it's they're master teachers or they're field representatives, volunteers, all kinds of different people, every single soul who comes into my life, even through this role, has become a teacher for me. And I think you and I discussed this, and it was so amazing that I thought, wow, how is it that I get to have free spiritual therapy every single day?
Yeah.
I'm blessed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm blessed.
That is true. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And it is true. It's we're always students and we're always teachers. And you're absolutely right. Every day we have some training. I mean, there's some that we have to honor for. And I'm not going to use the word honor. I use the word invest because it's an investment in ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Anything you're going to put $1 to is an investment in yourself.
Right.
And that's the way we have to look at life. Whether we invest in time, money, and energy, again, this conversation could go anywhere, so there's no thread to it.
Yeah.
It's about an investment, and I do know that, and there's a complimentary, and we give lots of complimentary. This show is complimentary And I wanted to get you on for you to see what it is we're doing. And I want our audience to reach out and say, if you benefit from this or you felt something, please let us know so we can pass it on and help you further along, that maybe Francesca and I can put together maybe a special session where we can invite you all outside of this to experience some type of, to give you hope, to give you results. And this is what this is about. We're not here to sell you anything, and that's not what we do. I mean, if you need something further on, of course it's there. But that's what my hope is, to reach out and say, we're just like you guys. So Francesca, tell us our story, your story.
Yes, I'm going to tell you my story. I'll say that I'm a freelance writer and a published children's book author. So writing is I'm very passionate about writing. I'm very passionate about people. And I think my journey started out as telling a story. And I believe that each and every one of us has a story to tell. And sometimes we learn and our journey becomes that much better because someone else has told their story. So I've always believed that in my heart. So I set out years ago to engage children in an imaginative world. And then I set out to, I was a women's blogger, and I reached out to women on my own blog. It's called the Wonder of Women Publications. It's just living life, women to women, and encouraging and inspiring. And of course, my journey is, it's quite a story, Dianne. So I feel like I've had so many different lives. And how can one tell a story? You know, I'm 59 years old, or 59 years young, and I have so many years to tell. But I look at some of the highlights of my life, and I look at myself as a young girl, a young woman, you know, a mother, a daughter, a grandmother now. And I look at my life and how much I've evolved. And I always say that I've experienced a few near-death experiences and also a spiritual death, which came about 10 years ago when a 30-year marriage for me failed. And I think a lot of women or a lot of people in your audience could relate to that, because it is very much like a death. And I think when a lot of people did ask me, what's the closest you've come to death? I simply answered, when my marriage failed. And for me, it was that pivoting moment, that crossroad. And I think I had already been standing on a shaky foundation, which I think a lot of people sometimes find themselves on. And God stepped in and did the unimaginable, and he totally removed that pillar and that foundation for me. I'm that kind of person that no matter what you take away from me, I will rebuild it in a day. I mean, I'm just that person. God made sure that there was nothing for me to rebuild, that all I was left with was rubble and stone. I had no choices. I could not rebuild. And I knew then that it was time for me to turn around and walk in a totally different direction. And it was one of the most frightening and petrifying experiences of my life, because I was alone. I had endured financial losses. My children had scattered. My marriage had failed. My career, I could not function on my career. So many pivoting changes. And I had no choice but to pick myself up. It was like, I call it a tower moment, where everything just crashed. And it was a very difficult journey. I mean, because nothing comes easy in life. But I really had to look at myself as a person, as a woman. And I had to figure out, you know, who I was, because up until this moment, I had always been someone else, either, you know, a need for someone. I had been someone's mother. I had been someone's daughter. I had been someone's wife. I didn't know how to be me anymore, Diana. So I had to learn how to be me. I had to be comfortable with who I was. I had to explore that. And I think for a lot of people on the outside looking in, watching me, I made a tremendous amount of mistakes. I made some really big mistakes. And I'm sure that family and friends were concerned, but I needed those mistakes because I really needed this journey. And I started to trust myself more. I started to depend on myself more. And I started to really love myself, which is something that I hadn't done for years. Because when, especially for women, because we are caretakers, it's what we do. We serve in so many ways, but we just forget to nourish ourselves. So
Absolutely.
yeah. So I had to really embark on a new journey, and I had to find myself again. And I did. I did through a lot of different avenues. I wrote a lot. I made connections with people, and I really turned to God, and I really turned to the universe and the power within the universe. And I really tried to connect as much as I could to myself.
Beautiful. I'm listening to your story, and it's like a reflection of mine. It's not even funny. In regards to finding yourself, yes, marriage and everything else. And we have to understand, I want the audience to know, and we'll talk a little bit about this, is that you're not alone. We're all in this boat together. And regardless, we're not here to condone anybody and criticize anyone, not at all. But we're here to see, oh my goodness, how did Francesca get over that? How did Dianne get over that? How did,
Mm-hmm.
Mary get over that? And each journey is not the same, but yet it's a reflection. What did
Mm-hmm.
we have to do different? We all, yes, women in particular, men is a whole nother story. We love men. I mean, I am the founder of International Men's Day Canada. And, we talk and get more involved with the men and the youth, but we want to focus more on the youth because we want the youth, the men, not forgetting the women, to become a better person so they can have better relationships so they don't have to go through what we went through. But here's what I do know. And, please, your thoughts on this. We do not belong to anyone in particular, like our kids. We don't own them. No one
Mm-hmm.
owns us because we come with different characteristics and behaviors and history, drama, good, bad, ugly. That's who we are. We're all in a
Mm-hmm.
different path. And I had to learn that the hard way and release our children. My sisters and they hold on to their kids and they pamper them. I on the opposite, give them independence. And once they're on their way, because I can't pamper, I have to work on myself because we're too nice. We give us, but we completely forget about ourselves. And this is
Yeah.
where the marriage goes downhill because we give to everybody. Everybody. Now, don't get me wrong. My ex and I, we get along fine now, better than we ever got along before.
Yes.
Because we don't argue or fight. I don't worry about the kids. They have their
Mm-hmm.
own lives. So you're right in saying not everybody can have, it took years, because my marriage was, oh my gosh, something like yours. Almost 30,
Mm-hmm.
31, 32. I can't remember myself now. So I understand that. But because I was there for everybody, but I wasn't there for myself. And if I wasn't present for myself, I couldn't be present in the relationship or function in the
Right.
household. And I'm sure you understand that. So, what are some of the little things that you did to make a difference, the subtle changes? Because we know, we've come to a long way, did a lot of dramatic things. However, our audience, and here we are with Francesca Bartella speaking openly about her journey. And we're hoping that someone out there, at least one person, can resonate with this, our audience, that to know that you're not alone. So what are some of the simple little subtle things that you did in order to start picking yourself back up? Especially you became a single parent at some point, I believe, before you met your current husband
Mm-hmm.
and soulmate. So what are some of the things you did to pick yourself up?
Well, I would definitely say that I looked for guidance. I looked for a lot of guidance. I turned inward. For me, it was God. For someone else, it could be Buddha, it could be something else, it could be another spiritual practice. I really looked for something that was outside of me, because in my eyes, I had failed myself. So I was looking for someone to come and save me, right? So at the end, it really became about me. I mean, because I became my own savior. I became my own hero in the book. You know, like we're narrating, we're telling a story, and we look to everybody else as a protagonist, but it becomes about us. So I just started to love myself. I started to do a lot of work on myself. I started to understand myself better. I did forgiveness prayers. I did anger workshops. I read other people's stories. And I think this is where we talked about in the beginning, is the more people share, the more we learn, because we're growing and we're evolving. And if I'm telling my story today, and Dianne is listening, and Susan is listening, or Mark is listening, and they are relating even the slightest bit, they're going to take something away from this experience, and they're going to go back to their own lives, and they're going to say, okay, I'm okay. And I had to keep telling myself that I am not a failure. Because something failed in my life, it didn't mean I was a failure. It meant something was gone. And so just like death, we need to say goodbye to something old and introduce something new, and then look in a different direction. I reached out to family and friends. We talk about teachers coming in. I was lucky enough to find one teacher after another. But we don't always draw the right people to us. Sometimes we draw the wrong people to us. But it's that discernment to know where you're supposed to be and which direction that you're going. And for me, it was time, because we can say everything we want, but today, Dianne, I can tell you that just like a death or bereavement or a relationship failure, it takes time. It takes time to move from point A to B and C and D.
Absolutely.
It took time. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So for me, I would say that it is a natural process, and it does work.
You know, one of the things is a big aha for me many years ago is when one day I didn't know about spiritual channels and so forth, but I understood it. But I knew something was different about me, or things that was happening. And I was like, I don't know where that came from. But one of the things I do know is the day I accepted and say, oh, thank you. I embrace the good, the bad, and the ugly that has happened in my life. Because you have to be grateful and understand you will not be given something that you cannot handle. And at that point, I was like, whoa, something changed. Because I was not complaining about, oh my gosh, why did this happen? Why did this happen? I was like, okay, thank you. You wanted me to learn. I probably didn't learn from it, but I recognize it now. And this is one of the things. You know, I want to ask you this before it slipped my mind. In terms of family, you know, when you have a breakup, sometimes it is the biggest enemies of your family. Did you experience that, because all the negativity in the family saying like, what's wrong with you, girl? What's happening here? Did you feel that was huge for me? Yes.
Well, it's a given that the extended family, I needed to walk away, because
no, I'm speaking about your immediate family, your siblings.
My immediate family was really supportive, because I think people just knew who I was. Like, it wasn't in my nature, and so it was very easy for me, because my family, I mean, I have two sisters who were like my biggest support system, and we're best friends. Yeah, so it was really, really important. However, a lot of my friends left because they were married. We were married friends. We were married couples. And when you leave that kind of a relationship, those friends don't leave their husbands to come with me anymore, right? And so the dynamics change. I found that to be the most difficult. There was a little bit of judgment, because there's judgment. I don't know why, but when there's failure or any kind of, whether it's a relationship or anything, there seems to be that judgment, right? And we try not to judge people, but it happens, right? It really does. And for me, I think I was my own biggest enemy, because I was walking around and I was really dead. And I always say that, like, it was like another birth for me. And I found my way, like, and it wasn't easy, and it was not an easy journey. But we just want to tell people that there is another side, and there is, whether you're crawling, running, there is another side, and you're going to get there. But it just takes a little bit of work, and definitely the right people who are standing on the other side of that road, waiting and willing to accept you.
Let me ask you about the friends. Just, we're not here with all the love. We just want to look at how life is. Sometimes you're a teacher for others. Some of the relationships are your friends. Have they moved on? Are they? Many of them are scared, and they leave because they're scared, because they see things that's happening in their marriage that they don't want to address because they're scared. And some are happily married, that's fine. But there's some of them who feel trouble, and they don't know how to deal with it. Divorce was not something in my vocabulary. I never thought about it ever in my vocabulary. No way.
Yeah.
However, I believe they're more scared than anything else. What do I do? And it always comes around to financial. So you do know you touch a nerve or a button with them to say, oh my gosh, have any of them, as have moved on, or they just stuck it out, or hopefully the things have worked out for them as far as you know? Just curious to know.
A lot of them have stuck it out. So it was almost like there's two to the fence. So on one side, it was married people, married couples. Whether they were happy or unhappy, most of them I found were extremely unhappy. And then there was the other side which were divorcees. And then you get classified in this other group.
You're shunned upon. You're shunned upon. Like, what's wrong with her? What's wrong with her? Like, God, she had it made it good. They don't know what's happening behind this.
We couldn't relate anymore. It couldn't relate because I had to also, this is me being 100% transparent. I had to also make sure that the women on the married side did not see me as the threat. Do you understand that? It's like, because I was single again, and so maybe they could see me as the threat. They had to feel safe with that, because I was out, I was dating again in the world. I was out in the world. I was free. I was traveling. I was doing those things that maybe somehow, maybe they might have wanted to do those things, but I had to become safe for them again. I had to become safe for the husbands, because they saw me as a liability. Because, well, what if my wife goes with her and now my wife wants to divorce me? Like, so many ridiculous things that came from
or the opposite in reality. The wives think that maybe the husband will start hitting on you. I mean, this is reality, right?
Exactly. It is.
It's reality, and this is the problem. So, yes, and it's not about you being the threat. It's about their own insecurity.
That's right.
Understanding that they don't have boundaries and don't feel confident in who they are in order to be part of this relationship. I told you this show can go anywhere, okay? Because, and again, I don't talk too much about my relationship. I do, depends on what it is. But again, like I said, it's a reflection of who you are. It so resonates with me. And we're here to be open. We're not here to pretend we're anyone different than who we are. No. This is why we're here. And I want to say thanks for sharing that, because we can talk forever about this. But before we run out of time, I would love to, and we will catch up and then put all this together in a nice little pretty bow, hopefully. We always do a forgiveness practice. And I believe after talking about this very heavy topic, by the way, it's real, it's here, it's not going anywhere, it's not going to disappear. This is everyday life, because after we're in a marriage for so long, everybody take everybody for granted. It's not easy. 30 years, 40 years, 20 years, 15, 10 years. It's not easy because people grow apart, people change. But I will say one thing. We have to find ourselves, and sometimes it's okay to be selfish. It's okay to be take time for yourself. It's okay to say it's not okay, right?
Yeah,
That's
giving
what it
yourself
is.
permission.
Yeah. So why don't we for a moment just actually, would you like to leave us that would you like to just lead us in a practice, on a forgiveness practice?
Well, yes, okay. I would love to, and I think I'm going to have to come back for another episode, because
Absolutely.
I would love to share with your audience something extraordinary in terms of forgiveness, where I had an outer body experience where I got to actually connect with my ex-husband's soul, and he came back to ask for forgiveness. Not my husband, the body, right? But the soul. And that exercise actually started my growth and started my journey, and really helped me to move forward and with complete forgiveness. So I think we'll close the session by just saying that today I give myself permission to live, to love. I give myself permission to make mistakes. I forgive you. You forgive me. I forgive anyone who I've hurt knowingly and unknowingly. I ask for forgiveness, and I also give forgiveness. And I'm open. I am open and to discernment, so that sometimes when we're not sure about if we have caused a grievance somewhere, that God would open the door so that we can see it clearly, so that we can go back to that person and ask for forgiveness.
Okay, so let's just prep them, and we're going to do a forgiveness. So let's prep our audience as to what to do.
Okay.
And then we can do a forgiveness. Would you like to share a blessing with them? If you would like to do so.
You can go ahead, Diane. Yeah, you can go ahead, Diane. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So she wants me to do it. So okay. All right. All right. So let's just take a deep breath. I'm going to lower the music a little bit more. So just close our eyes. Feel free if you're sitting down. Just sit quietly. Put your feet on the ground. Sit away back from the chair, from the cushion. Put one hand in your lower abdomen. That's one of your energy centers. And you could put one if you have any pain, you want emotion. If you have anxiety, depression, we're talking about relationships, and your lower abdomen is relationships. So you could put one hand on your heart, or you can put one hand in your fourth chakra, which is between your sternum, which we call the message center. Heal your heart, you heal blockages. There's so many things you can do, but that's what I want you is just to relax. And there are many powers, body powers we speak about, mind power and so forth. But for you to make it very simple, I would like for you to just focus. First of all, connect with a higher being, whoever that is for you. This is not about religion. Remember, we said that. And just connect. If you believe in the sun and the moon, the earth, Mother Earth, then connect with. Everything has a soul, an energy. Or even the sun, wherever you are, or the moon, depends on what time of the day it is. Just feel the energy coming in. And just relax and focus on where you need a healing. Very simple. Now, if you're lying down, just relax. If you really cannot sit up, I may ask you to do some very simple things or say something. But if you're lying down, you say it in silence so it doesn't deplete your energy. And if you sit up, you can say it, or you could say it in silence. So take some deep breaths and relax. And listen to the music in the background, the Love, Peace and Harmony by Dr. and Master Dianne Ojar. This alone is available on all the social media, YouTube, Spotify, and so forth, even on the website. However, I just want you to just relax and take some deep breaths in and out your mouth. Just relax. In and out. And I'm going to offer. You wanted me to do it, Francesca, right?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to offer Francesca as well as each and every one of you out there. Typically, we do it to Francesca, but this time we do it to everyone. For everyone, whether you have a relationship with, a loved one could be yourself. It could be your kids. It can be another person. It could be someone with a job. It could be marriage, husband. It can be anything. Just make a connection. And I'm also going to ask Francesca, since we're here, maybe if you're willing, you can, you have a Tao hands, correct?
No, I don't.
Okay, all right. I get it now. Okay, beautiful. All right, that's okay. So just bear with me. Just breathe. And I'm going to do a blessing. Just follow me. And parts of it I'm going to say out loud, and certain parts I'm probably going to do it in silence. Depends on the guidance. Just breathe in. How? How means hello. It also means all is good. How? They're divine, they're Tao, they're source. You connect with whoever you want to connect with, your heavenly being. They're all our mothers and fathers in heaven, even our ancestors. We call on you and we thank you, we love you, and we appreciate you. You got to show respect and gratitude. They're all the heavens team, the inner souls and the outer souls. We thank you. Please come today. Just relax. Feel that energy. Feel that love and light. When you connect to the higher source, ask them to send golden light and love through your head, which is your crown, through your body. And I'm going to ask you to call on your souls or spirits from any lifetime, all lifetimes, and as well this one, you got two souls. You don't have to believe this. I'm not here to convince you. And everyone was given, and correct me if I'm wrong, Francesca, everyone was given the treasure of love, peace, and harmony. Everyone, yes. The whole of humanity, over 7 billion people, that we agree on. So I would like you now to activate that by saying, all the treasures in my lower abdomen, please activate. So activate yours as well, Francesca. And I'm going to activate some of all the calligraphies I have in my space here. It creates a field. I do have the love, peace, and harmony calligraphy, so I please ask the love, peace, and harmony calligraphies to activate the field, the Tao Bei, which is the source back, the soul light, the Tao Da Dai, healing hands and Tao hands. That means greatest love. Don't worry about the Mandarin. The 10 greatest qualities and more. Please activate. Feel the energy, the shift. Just breathe. Then I'm going to do a forgiveness practice. And they're all the souls who say your name, Francesca and her ancestors, or Dianne and my ancestors, or, say you and your ancestors may have hurt in this lifetime or any lifetime in any capacity related to, by the way, make a request. The relationship of the person, in regards to the relationship with this person. Now, I want you to know that although you're talking about relationship, it affects other areas of your life. I could already feel the back of my backbone, my left backbone starting to feel. I can feel it. You've asked for forgiveness if you've ever hurt this person in any way, shape, or form, in action, doings, whatever comes out your mouth. Because most people you've known them for their lifetimes. You want to say, I'm so sorry. Please forgive us. But there's also another side to it. All the souls in any lifetime who may have hurt yourself and your ancestors, in any capacity, any wrongdoings, whatsoever, we give forgiveness. We cannot hold on to what is going on. We cannot hold on to grudges. We cannot hold on to something we didn't know what we were doing. We were conditioned for this. Doesn't mean we believe in it and we don't believe in it anymore. You got to release that. So no, all debts have been canceled and we no longer owe anyone anything. Thank you. I can feel my chest. Whoa. Here's the blessing. Dear Divine, Thou Source, please offer a blessing as appropriate to each and every one here today for their request. And if you don't have any conflict, which is unbelievable to me, awesome, then maybe it's a relationship to have a better relationship with yourself. So I would like you to say your name 3 times. You can say it out loud. If you're lying down, you say it in quiet stillness. Dianne Ojar, Dianne Ojar, Dianne Ojar. Offer a blessing to transform. This is all about information and messages. What we see, what we hear, what we take in for our bodies, our pores. To transform all the negative messages. Ignore what's in the background there. All the messages, information, darkness in your body. Just ignore it. That just means it's resolution there. And we want to transform this in the darkness or anything into beautiful light and love and messages and information. We cannot thank you enough. Breathe. Blessing starts. I'm going to do it silent. I'm going to do it silent, but I'm going to bring up the music. so you can connect with the music. I'll be back in a moment. You may have heard me stamping there. That's also a technique. Down hands rest. Pressing it. Take some deep breaths in. Breathe in and then breathe out your mouth 3 times. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Put your hands together in your prayer position, whatever that is. Could be on your lap, could be in prayer. And give thanks and gratitude however you choose to do it. And I'm going to close it this way. Thank you, Divine. Thank you, Tao. Thank you, Source. We said how, which means, and thank you. You give blessings to yourself, your soul, and the Divine. Thank you all our souls who came today. Thank you all our treasures. Thank you, Master Shah, of course, who's the one who gave us the opportunity to be here today. Thank you, all the modalities. And thank you. Thank yourself. Thank your soul for being open to this. Connect with us. Let us know how you're feeling. We can't thank you enough. Thank you. Give gratitude and love. Say whatever you want to say. You want to say prayers, gratitude, thank, whatever it is you do in your culture, in your custom. Go down to the ground. Give countless blessings if that's what you do. Put your hand up in the air and praise the divine, the universe, whatever connects with it, whatever makes you who you are in your faith and your beliefs. And I'm going to say Gonsong, Gonsong, Gonsong. Gonsong basically means when we call on all of the souls, they have to rest too. And yes, it's okay for them to go back home to humble abode. And we thank you. And just take a moment, a couple seconds to just breathe in again and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. One more time. Breathe in and breathe out. And you can open your eyes when you're ready. And if you want to stay in that state for a while, please feel free to do so. But Francesca, tell me.
Yes, Dianne.
You know the drill. Just trying to get the right sweet spot for the songs, the music, so I can hear you. So tell me. And if you felt, and by the way, just to let everyone know, even if you felt something or didn't feel anything, know something's happened, and that's good. Some people are more sensitive. Some people are less sensitive. It takes about 3 days to integrate, and I usually check with everyone who I do it with and say, how are you doing today? How are you doing today? How are you doing today? So I want to hear from you to know how you're doing today about it. But also do know, I recommend that you get as much rest as you can, eat as much as you can, drink as much fluids as you can. I didn't say alcohol, I said fluids. But most important, take a shower from head to toe, skin to bone. So whatever you're releasing, it's not in your space. And for many of you who do rituals by cleansing or sound bowls or saging or spreading salt, I don't know what you do, or just go around praying, you can do that as well to cleanse the space. So, Francesca, sorry. So, how are we
Yeah,
doing?
thank you. Yes, I feel very peaceful. I feel very relaxed, and I really connected when you said all your debts are canceled. And for me, that's so important. And I really connected with those few words. And I felt through the forgiveness practice, I felt that I had a clear and a clean slate. So thank you so much.
And that goes for you. Thank you so much for sharing. That goes for you too to go take that shower. I'm not kidding you.
Yes, I'm
A
going to.
shower
Yeah.
from head to toe. Wash your hair, wash everything about you because things when you breathe in light and love. Oh, the
Hmm.
energy. And when you breathe out, all the toxin is going out. And
Yeah.
you may feel some tension in your body like I typically do, but no things rise before it dissipates and settles. So it's all good.
Thank you
It's
so much.
all good. So on that note, tell us, but as we wrap up, I know time goes really fast, eh?
Yeah.
So tell me, what message you would like to leave our audience now that if you share this story, and I welcome you back because there's so many things we can talk about. Welcome you back, and as well as you know, you don't know what you don't know, and sharing is healing. So while we're talking about, we're also healing because we get more comfortable by talking
That's
about
right.
it instead of holding it inside. So, what message would you like to share with our audience today before we leave in the last few minutes we have?
Yes. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me here. And
Of
thank you
course.
to all your audience and listeners. I love you and I appreciate you. And I appreciate the opportunity to share. And I'd like to leave you with this message that life really is beautiful and it is a process. And just forgive yourself if it's not going the way you expected or anticipated. But remember just to write your own story. If you want a happy ending, then you make sure that you go and find that. If you want to add more characters to your life, more love, more joy, then write that in the script for yourself and put it out into the world, and you will receive that. And life is not perfect, but it is beautiful. So I'll just leave you with that.
Beautiful. Is there by any chance a quote that resonates with you that helps you through the day? One that gives you strength, hope, anything? Could be from something very simple, maybe a word
Well,
or
I would,
phrase or
I would,
quote.
I would like to I have a few, but unfortunately, I don't have them here with me so that I could quote them.
Okay, well,
Um,
let's pull some words. Just pull some words that
pull
resonates with
some
you.
words.
Yeah.
Um, I would have to say, I would have to say failure. I would have to say how that challenges people and how it will change your mindset. Because we have to remember that nothing is failed. Everything is trial and error, and everything is a gift. Um, just life is a gift, and I say this openly and transparently because I did battle breast cancer as well, and I just believe now that I'm looking at life through a different filter and a different lens. And I love this lens because maybe some of us are looking through the world and through maybe the glass is too thick. Maybe we're not looking. Maybe we're not seeing. And sometimes something happens in your life that just allows you to be open to that.
I want to thank you for that because most people just go, positive, positive, positive. But be
Yeah,
being honest here and saying, first of all, there's no failure. There's only lessons to learn, and we have to learn.
that's
Everything is a lesson to learn. Everything that comes to our path, and this is why we talk about the 30 years of
yeah.
the marriage. The marriage wasn't a failure. It wasn't a breakdown. We had to learn things from it, and some things that
Hmm.
worked fine. Because now you're in another relationship, so you just wouldn't do what you did the first time, or you might do it better. And again, it takes two hands to clap and to tango, obviously, as we know.
Yes.
So
Hmm.
no one here is at fault. Everybody is different because everybody's going and looking for the same thing.
That's right.
And
Hmm.
I want to thank you for saying, some people say no, faith and hope and joy. But you said failure. But you know you've learned the lessons, so that was huge because it's the lessons behind
That's right.
closed doors. And you've
Yeah.
had quite a few. And the
Yeah.
next time when you come back, yeah, we can talk about the journey of your cancer, which is a whole nother conversation. Because we have a
Absolutely.
lot of thoughts, we know a lot of people, and a lot of people who, and
Yeah.
cancer is just an eye opener for you to wake up with all that you built up in yourself and through the marriage and everything else, the anger, the rage, the disappointments, the anxiety. It's all leads up to these things. So I want to say thank you for being open and sharing. And yes, you are
you.
welcome to come back in a
Thank you.
part 2 series, of course, definitely. Okay. But I want to thank everyone else here for definitely being with us. And I really want to thank Francesca for being so open. I also want to thank myself for being open to say, because I resonate with her so much. Am I in a better place? Is she in a better place? Absolutely. Regardless of what. Remember, we're here to have a better life in order for us to do better going forward for the next lifetime, which we hope we don't have to do. But we need to clean up the mess here. We don't want to take it with us.
No, we don't.
I have friends' relationship, and I found out that I was connected with them in lifetimes, and some of them have gone. I don't know if they'll ever come back, or if they come back, they'll have to come back in a different space. And there's some of them I can't get rid of. But they understand what I do because there's a strong connection, because I still believe there's something I need to do for them, with them. And that's what we have to look. We have to let go of the baggage. We cannot take the trash out and put all in one bag. We have to take trips, one step at a time, one day at a time. So I want to say to everyone,
thank you.
You're not broken to be fixed, for God's sake. Just take it easy and breathe and reach out and share your story. You never know where your story will go. Who will be able to help you?
Yeah, absolutely.
If you hide behind closed doors, nobody would know what's going on with you.
And I mean, this is therapeutic for me too, sharing today.
Yeah,
I feel so much, I feel wonderful. So I encourage people to share all the time. So thank you so much for allowing this opportunity for me to share with everyone.
The funny thing is, when you share it on a larger audience or bigger audience where nobody knows you, it's more therapeutic because nobody is judging you and you don't know who's out there. And that's what we have to do. And that's why we create this platform. So I want to thank you, Francesca. I want to thank Master Shah for giving us this hope, giving us this opportunity, giving us the freedom to be open like this with someone like Francesca and all our amazing, amazing guests. And I'm going to give you the last word here, Francesca, in terms, because I know your brain is turning. I know. So tell us, if it's one thing you could do today for someone or anyone, what would that be? What piece of advice, because we have a minute or two, what piece of advice would you give someone right now at this very moment?
I think I would just tell them to remember who they are, not to lose themselves in other people, right? Not to lose themselves in a relationship. It's okay for us to love, but don't lose yourself there. Always remain, have enough integrity for yourself so that you can be the best for other people. So don't lose yourself, and don't lose yourself in a job. Don't lose yourself in a passion or a relationship. Don't lose yourself, and remain true to yourself and put yourself first.
That is beautiful. That is so profound. Most people would not understand that, possibly how profound that is, but it's really and truly, because when we lose ourselves in a relationship, we give ourselves, we give away ourselves, we lose our power.
Absolutely.
And we forget, because we want to love, love, love. We want to hold on and think it's all good. But smothering is not good sometimes either.
Absolutely. I think I became the most powerful person, the most powerful woman to myself, because when I was alone. So yeah, that's for another story.
Yeah, that's another story. Not right now. But definitely.
Thank you.
No, it's amazing. Thank you so much, Francesca. And I want to say
Thank
to
you.
everyone, listen to the words. Go back and listen to this.
Mm-hmm.
I urge you, if you are going through something right now, you don't have to go through alone. Tell someone. Not someone you trust. Someone that's open. Someone you don't know who will not
Mm-hmm.
judge you.
Yeah.
And just be open. Because you never know where your story can lead you. Because remember, like I said, you're human. Love yourself, appreciate yourself, and be grateful for the life you've given and how you can make a difference in someone else's. So, on that note, I would like to say this is Dianne and Francesca on Divine Soul Journey. Contact us on dsjshow2020@gmail.com. And I want to say aloha, namaste, sitaram, assalamu alaikum, shalom. And good morning, good afternoon, good night, good evening to each and every one of you. And on that note, I want to say with love, peace, and harmony, we have to have love. We have to have peace. And for God's sake, we got to have harmony in our lives, in all
Mm-hmm.
areas of our lives. And that's what this song playing in the background is: love, peace, and harmony. So thank you all. Thank you, Francesca. Thank you, Divine. Thank you, Source. Thank you, Universe. Just thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate it. Take care. Have a
Thank
good
you.
one.
Thank
Until
you.
next time on Divine Soul
Oh.
Journey.